We're back in Capernaum, which is where we were last time I preached, actually, about the leper being touched by Jesus. So at this point, the town has had time, the gossip to go around and everybody to hear that there's this dude, there's this prophet who can heal lepers, he can heal people. So when he shows up back in Capernaum, the crowds start gathering right away. People need healing, people need a touch from God, and they're there. So they bombard him. Now as he's going, they're on their way to Jairus' house. This large crowd is around. Then this woman comes up who has this bleeding issue. This was actually a menstrual bleeding issue where it would just never stop. And she's been unclean. And she's dealt with this her whole life. You know, she can't have a husband. She can't have a boyfriend. She can't have kids because she's unclean. No godly Jewish man would ever come close to her, would ever touch her, would ever even care. And so she's here and she's desperate. And she knows that if she touches this prophet, if she touches Jesus, that she's gonna make him unclean. But she's bold. She has nothing more to lose. Nobody can do anything. This is her last hope. She heard about a guy who healed a leper. Maybe he can do that for me. Because she thought, if I just touch his clothes, I will be healed. Immediately her bleeding stopped. And she felt in her body that she was freed from her suffering. At once, Jesus realized that power had gone out from him. He turned around in the crowd and asked, who touched my clothes? You see the people crowding against you, his disciples answered, and yet you can ask, who touched me? The disciples, right? They never fail. They're always like masters of the obvious, like, dude, everybody's touching you. They're like freaking out, like, what is he talking about? Is this another parable? What's going on right now? But Jesus kept looking around to see who had done it. Then the woman, knowing what had happened to her, came and fell at his feet and trembled with fear, told him the whole truth. He said to her, daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace and be freed from your suffering. That go in peace right there, that's so important. When he says go in peace, he's saying your sins are forgiven as well. Be freed from your suffering. Do you see this? Not only the suffering here on earth, but the suffering for eternity. When he says you've been freed from your suffering, he's not just talking about here and now. He's talking about eternity and ever after. And he says your faith has healed you. Go in peace and be freed from your suffering. Nobody can do that. Muhammad can't do that. Buddha can't do that. Nobody can do that except Jesus.